November 29, 1943 begins like dozens of other mission days had before it, cold, tense, and heavy with unspoken fear. High above Europe, more than 300 American B-17 flying fortresses form up into tight combat boxes, silver shapes glinting faintly in the pale winter sun. Their destination is Bremen, a city that has become the beating industrial heart of Nazi Germany. Shipyards, aircraft factories, submarine pens, all of it lies beneath layers of steel, concrete, and some of the most concentrated air defenses in Europe. Inside one of those bombers, the B-17 Rikki-Tikki-Tavi, tail gunner Eugene "Gene" Moran settles into his position. The temperature in the tail section is brutal. At altitude, the cold bites through layers of clothing and electrically heated suits alike. Frost forms on metal surfaces. Breath turns instantly to vapor. Gene shifts his weight slightly, gloved hands resting on the grips of his twin .50 caliber machine guns, eyes fixed on the endless sky behind them. Gene has learned to read that sky. Empty blue can turn lethal in seconds. The crew has been airborne for hours. Engines drone steadily, a constant vibration that seeps into bone and nerve. No one talks much now. As they approach the target area, conversation fades and vigilance sharpens. Bremen is close. Everyone knows what comes next. Then it happens. The intercom crackles alive. "Bandits, 12 o'clock high!" The words hit like a punch to the chest. German fighters, again. Gene tightens his grip and scans instinctively, though he knows the threat is coming from the front. German pilots have learned their lessons well. A head-on attack minimizes exposure to defensive fire, slipping past the overlapping arcs of the top turret and ball turret. It's dangerous, but effective. Ahead of the formation, twin-engined Bf-110 heavy fighters line up, growing rapidly larger. They're not alone, and they're not carrying only guns. Slung beneath their wings is something new. Without warning, white streaks leap forward from the German aircraft. For a split second, it almost looks like fireworks. Then reality slams home. These are 21-centimeter Werfer-Granate rockets, unguided but devastating. They streak straight toward the tightly packed box formation. Inside Rikki-Tikki-Tavi, the cockpit erupts in shouts. A rocket flashes past the nose, so close it feels like the aircraft shudders in its wake. First Lieutenant Linwood Langley barely has time to register what he's seen. "Jesus, did you see that?" Before anyone can answer, another voice cuts through. "Tail to crew, one fort is down!" Gene feels his stomach knot. Somewhere nearby, another bomber has been ripped apart. Another crew is gone. The rockets finish their run, and now the fighters are in close. Cannon fire rips into the formation. The Bf-110s roar past, engines screaming, and for a brief instant they're vulnerable. "Get 'em, Gene!" Gene squeezes the triggers. The tail guns thunder, the recoil vibrating through his arms and shoulders. Tracers arc outward, stitching the sky as the German fighters streak past and peel away in pairs. But Gene doesn't relax. He squints into the distance. Tiny black dots are forming again, more than before. "Bandits, 5 o'clock high!" This time, it's not just heavy fighters. Sleek, fast, single-engine aircraft dive toward the formation. Bf-110s and FW-190s, the dreaded butcher birds. They come in waves, slashing through the bombers with brutal speed. The sky dissolves into chaos. Tracer fire crisscrosses in every direction. Empty shell casings clatter and roll across the floor. Every gun position is firing now. Nose, waist, top turret, ball turret. The B-17 transforming into exactly what it was designed to be, a flying fortress. "There's too many!" someone shouts. The intercom becomes a storm of overlapping voices. 3 o'clock level! 12 o'clock high! I got one! They're peeling off! Then another threat joins the attack. "Flak! 11 o'clock low!" Black bursts bloom ahead and around them, dirty cotton wool puffs exploding in midair.
German 88mm anti-aircraft guns fill the sky with steel. The bomber shudders violently as shock waves slam into it. Metal shrieks, the wings flex alarmingly. Jean watches helplessly as nearby fortresses take hits. Some stagger, trailing smoke. Others drop suddenly, sliding out of formation and vanishing below. Inside Rikki-Tikki-Tavi, the order finally comes. "Pilot to bombardier. Curtis, you ready?" "Yes, sir. Bomb bay doors coming open." The massive doors beneath the aircraft grind apart, exposing the bombs to open sky. The crew waits, counting heartbeats, eyes fixed on the lead plane ahead. They must drop together. Precision depends on timing. Just drop the damn bombs. Finally, the lead aircraft releases. "Bombs away!" Donald Curtis triggers the release. The bomber lurches upward as the weight falls free, suddenly lighter by several tons. The bomb bay doors slam shut, and Langley banks the aircraft, turning for home. Slowly, mercifully, the flak begins to thin. "Damage report. Navigator okay. Ball turret okay. Just holes in the wings and fuselage." Amazingly, the engines are still running smoothly. Oil pressure is good, fuel flow steady. The B-17 has taken punishment, but it's still flying. Relief washes through the crew. "We're gonna make it." The words barely echo through the fuselage when a new cry erupts. "Bandits, they're back!" Jean's heart sinks. The German fighters return in force, diving from above with renewed fury. The formation lights up again, hundreds of guns blazing. The noise is deafening, a continuous roar of gunfire, engines, and exploding shells. 2 o'clock! 6 o'clock! The bomber shudders violently. Then Jean notices something wrong. The distance to the nearest fortress is growing. Slowly at first, then unmistakably, they're slipping back. "What's going on?" Jean mutters, craning his neck. No smoke, no visible engine damage, yet the gap widens relentlessly. "We're falling out of formation," a gunner calls. Silence from the cockpit. Jean keys his mic. "Pilot, what's happening? We're not holding position." The answer comes faintly, almost drowned out by noise. "We're being pushed out." Whether it's the pilot or co-pilot, no one can tell, but moments later it's undeniable. Rikki-Tikki-Tavi is alone, and the Germans see it. As Rikki-Tikki-Tavi drifts farther from the protection of the formation, the change in the air is immediate. Where moments ago there was at least some sense of shared danger, now there is only isolation. The bomber feels exposed, naked in the vast sky. The surrounding fortresses shrink into the distance, their interlocking fields of fire no longer able to shield this single straggler. Jean feels it in his gut before he fully understands it. The enemy fighters begin to reposition, circling like sharks that have sensed blood. Their attacks become more deliberate now, more focused. Cannon fire rips into the fuselage. The sound is different this time, closer, more personal. Metal screams, plexiglass cracks. Somewhere forward, a man yells in pain. Jean fires again and again, forcing himself to focus, to keep scanning, to keep shooting. He swings his guns onto an FW-190 that flashes across his sights, then a BF-109 diving steeply from above. He has no idea if he's hitting anything. There's no time to check. There's only the next target. The intercom explodes with noise, shouts, static, overlapping voices. Then comes a scream from below. "Mo, there's one coming up at us. He's coming straight up." It's Wilbert Pee Wee Provost, the ball turret gunner, Jean's closest friend. From his vulnerable glass sphere beneath the bomber, Pee Wee has spotted a twin-engined Messerschmitt climbing rapidly from below. "He's right up our ass!" Jean tries to shout back, tries to bring his guns around, but the angle is wrong. He hears gunfire hammering against the plexiglass dome of the ball turret. "I'm done!" Pee Wee's voice breaks. "Buddy, I'm done!" There's a sudden burst of sound, glass shattering, followed by a scream that cuts off mid-cry. A Messerschmitt roars past the tail, so close Gene can see the black crosses on its wings. Instinct takes over. Gene squeezes the triggers, his guns roar, tracers slamming into the German aircraft. Smoke pours from one engine, then fire. The fighter rolls violently and disappears downward. The intercom is silent. "Pee-wee?" Gene calls. No answer. The ball turret gunner is gone. Before Gene can process what that means, another German aircraft slides into view, this one different. A Bf-109 pulls alongside the tail, flying parallel, close enough that Gene can see the pilot's face through the canopy. For a brief, surreal moment, neither fires. The German pilot looks directly at Gene. Then he points at Gene. Then he points downward. The ground. Bail out. Gene just stares, disbelief washing over him. The German repeats the gesture, slower this time, calm, almost gentle. It takes a second for the meaning to sink in. This is mercy, or at least a chance. Gene's mind races. Is he the last one left? Are the others dead? Have they already bailed out? He looks forward along the fuselage, straining to see movement. He can make out shapes, bodies, but they're motionless. In the distance, other German fighters hang back, circling, waiting. This is a moment that will haunt Gene for the rest of his life. A moment where survival seems possible, where an enemy silently offers him an escape. Then, everything shatters. Gunfire erupts from somewhere inside Rikki-Tikki-Tavi. Someone is still alive. Someone is still fighting. The German pilot jerks in surprise. The unspoken truce vanishes instantly. He banks hard away, disappearing in a blur. That single burst seals their fate. The waiting fighters surge forward. They come all at once. The tail section becomes a storm of metal. Bullets tear through the thin aluminum skin, ricocheting, shredding cables, ripping through flesh. Gene is slammed to the floor as the aircraft lurches violently. His guns jam. He forces himself back up, hands shaking, blood slicking his gloves. He works the charging handles frantically. One gun clears. Just as it fires, a burst hits him squarely in the arms. Pain explodes through his body. Both arms shatter, bones splintering under the impact. Gene screams into his oxygen mask, but doesn't stop. He keeps firing, one-handed. Then another burst smashes into his chest, breaking ribs and knocking the breath from his lungs. Still, somehow, he fires a few more rounds. The tail is unrecognizable now, torn open, cables whipping, smoke filling the space. The aircraft groans like a dying animal. Gene feels himself pressed into his seat as the nose pitches downward. They're going down. His parachute is shredded, useless, but he remembers there's a spare near the tail wheel. He tries to move, agony ripping through him, vision blurring red. He sees crew members or parts of them lying still. Then comes a sound that chills him to the bone. Metal tearing. The floor beneath him shifts violently. The pressure changes. The sky suddenly appears where the fuselage should be. The main body of Rikki-Tikki-Tavi drops away. Gene is still inside the tail section. For a heartbeat, there is silence. Then the spin begins. The detached tail whirls violently, centrifugal force pinning Gene in place. The air pressure crushes him into the metal. Blood floods his eyes. He can't move, can't scream, can't even fully think. The fall feels endless. Inside the spinning wreckage, time stretches, distorts. Every second feels like minutes. Gene is certain this is where it ends. Then, with unimaginable violence, the tail slams into trees. Branches explode, metal folds. The impact is beyond what a human body should survive. Yet somehow, Gene Moran does. When consciousness returns, it's dim and flickering. He sees light, distant, blurred, and crawls toward it, dragging shattered arms through wreckage and branches. Pain is everywhere. His teeth feel loose. His skull throbs. He slips and falls. Gene lands on a forest floor. Above him, the tail section of Rikki-Tikki-Tavi hangs tangled in trees like a grotesque monument. He lies there, stunned, barely breathing. He is alive. In the nose section of the bomber, events unfolded just as violently. Navigator Jesse Orison and bombardier Donald Curtis fired desperately as fighters swarmed them. Bullets shattered the plexiglass. Curtis was hit and thrown backward into Orison. Blood filled the cramped space. The plane nosed down sharply. With shaking hands, Orison forced a parachute onto Curtis's limp body. Seconds later, the entire nose disintegrated. Orison was ripped from the aircraft, jagged glass slicing into his legs as he fell. Screaming, he pulled the ripcord. As his parachute snapped open, he looked down and saw the tail of Rikki-Tikki-Tavi spinning below him. He would later remember the sight of the rudder and elevators fluttering as it fell. He had no idea his friend was still inside. On the ground, Gene drifts in and out of consciousness. He hears voices and expects the worst: angry civilians, execution, revenge. But the words are French. Workers from a nearby camp find him, along with German soldiers. Expecting a corpse, they instead discover a man barely clinging to life. Gene is dragged through the forest and taken prisoner. A Serbian doctor operates on him, fitting a metal plate into a shattered skull to protect his exposed brain. His arms are set. His ribs bind painfully with every breath. The physical wounds slowly heal. The mental ones do not. In the POW hospital, Gene relives the fall again and again. Nightmares wake him screaming, convinced he's still spinning, still falling, still trapped in the tail. After the war, Gene Moran is released and repatriated. He reunites with Jesse Orison, the only other survivor of Rikki-Tikki-Tavi. Together, they carry the weight of those who didn't return. Decades later, the story becomes legend. Did you hear about the tail gunner who fell without a parachute and survived? In 2022, 8 years after Gene's death, his close friend John Armbruster finally tells the full story in the book Tailspin. It is not just a story of survival. It is a story of unimaginable endurance and of a man who fell from the sky and lived.